All right, I'll look at yours. I'll look at your your. Welcome to twitch.landon.tv.2.gaming.com. I am very tired, but I was so bummed we couldn't meet on Wednesday, so I'm glad you're able to meet tonight. And going forward, we might move this to Tuesday, and then I might move the Box Score Geek show to Monday. We have no viewers, which is fine. I just want this recorded for posterity. Like, what else are you going to be doing on a Friday night, people? Like, what are you going to be doing? Hanging with friends, seeing movies, eating food, seeing Hamilton, which Landon still hadn't done. Let me ask you a question that's kind of funny now that I know stuff. Have you seen the Nets play a game? Have you seen, what's your hockey team? Do you have a hockey team? Yes. Have you? Well, okay. Let's start with that. Have you seen the Avalanche play? It doesn't look
I just realized I
Barclay.
had my mic muted. I'm glad we didn't get very far before I
I've been hearing
fixed
you.
that. Yeah, you
Oh,
have,
but
but
you had your mic on that, so I'm just
yeah. Yeah,
like,
so you're
so I
just
already sound like stumbly and weird.
yes, you already
Okay, I'm
sound
gonna
a
show
little
you. Let me make
insane.
sure I get it without showing stuff. I'm gonna get. Listen, we need to make this live somewhere and looking better. Yeah, but we got two things. Landon built this. This is a car directory of all the cars in Radical Racers, which is awesome.
Oh
Apparently,
yeah.
these cars don't have any classes, Mister. Don't know how to add classes. Pretty sure the Wolf is a what, S class or A class?
No, so this is what's interesting is I like scoured my hard drive looking for all the cars I ever made because they weren't all included in the original game. And so those three at the bottom don't have car data. They don't have the files to actually include them in the game. And you'll notice that like the Crazy 2, like it's a little bit narrower than like
But
the Craze
but
because
isn't
I
there is a oh yeah, there are wolves. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
you
there's
have lots
several.
of wolves in this game. Oh my
Yeah,
god, this
it
game is
was
overrun with wolves.
easy to add racing stripes. So I don't know why I put so many
and
in.
and this is mine. I made a this is kind of a faux walkthrough of the game, which is showing the track, the number, what the
Hmm.
max class of the car on it, what the and then the little notes on the side. There's a reward if you win anything. New cars isn't technically a reward, which is why like I say new tires here, but you don't like here you actually win a soft suspension. Here new tires just show up in
Hmm.
the thing, and then I leave little notes to myself about how hard it is to beat. Um, I've gotten pretty good. It's still hard, but it is interesting in that I think a good gamer could really make this game look wild with how the dynamics work. So my only plan was I wanted to play this game. I wanted to comment on I was going. You can comment on me. You can play along. I don't know. I'm loopy. I'm not on any medication or drugs yet. Maybe I should be. But I think that's prohibited in the Radical Racers League. I don't want to get kicked out for cheating.
That's right, Talus. Alien tires.
Alien tires.
Oh, they.
Yeah,
Oh
they're
yeah,
on there somewhere.
yeah. He's.
Yeah. Wait, did I forget if I bought them. Do I have that listed here?
I don't know if the main
Where?
career goes. I don't think it goes up to Alien.
Oh, okay. Are you looking at the what you call one, the like so you can do there are multiple modes. And we're gonna do this for real. I've been using a so by the way, let's show some cheating. Let's exit really quick and I'll do this. Fake. There are some cool cheats in this game, and the reality is this really lines up with old video games, which is when there were cheat codes in like the Konami cheat code that everybody knew for Contra. The reason for that is typically to debug a game, you need to be able to play and beat the game. And that should be a tell. If your game is so freaking hard, you need to like invincibility code. But there are a couple in Radical Racers. The first is the M button. If you hit M, you just get $40,000, which is very nice. The A button lets you advance to the next track automatically, and it counts you as first place. So you get any rewards you get. Um, in the game, the D button blows you up, which you said was useful because that that tells you like you want it to be able to test blowing up right at the finish line, and that's really hard to do like on accident.
Yeah, it's much easier if you can just push a button and explode.
So one of the things I like through my walkthrough, which maybe what we should put on a website somewhere sometime, like we should make a game pack version of this. Um, to start the game, you need an engine. There are three in the thing. You would kind of mention that one of the cool dynamics of this racing game is it is. I'm sorry, I keep bringing it up, but it is a lot like rock and roll racing, where you win
Hmm.
races, you get money, you're able to use the money to upgrade your car. I actually do have questions on that. So there are three things you can upgrade on your car. There's well, four. You can upgrade the body,
Hmm.
which is important for two reasons. The body can have a, and we can like look at look at my garage. So I only have one body right now. I can't get another, but as soon as I find cloning device, I'll get multiple bodies. Ha ha. All right.
Wow.
The body has a horse. Yeah, this is what you're getting tonight, man. So buckle up. Okay. The body has horsepower and weight, and those two things basically are the basis for speed.
The
Additionally, but
the body doesn't have horsepower.
really, the
The
body
engine
just has
does.
weight. Sorry. So the okay, so the body's weight combined with the engine is part of what dictates your horsepower. Do the tires or suspension
The
contribute to that at all?
the engine has horsepower. That's the only thing that has horsepower. The weight of the car affects your top speed, how fast you can go, because lighter cars will go faster.
And your
But
and the damage you can take,
and the damage you can take. Yeah.
which adds an interesting dynamic you could add in I don't know if you're adding to like version X.1, but you could certainly start adding things like a titanium chassis or whatever, where the car is lighter but able to take more damage. And then you also have tires and suspension. Tires affect tire grip, I believe, and suspension affects cornering. Cornering, I believe, and like I love that I'm explaining your game. You're
No,
like, that's not my
go
game.
ahead. No, I like this.
Cornering is like your turn radius. And tire grip, I don't quite understand, but I know it's like it does like your car skids more if your tire grip isn't as good.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like you can really tell the difference when you get to higher levels and then you just put like the original parts back on. Like if you go bald tires on like an A or S class car, then it's pretty apparent what it does.
So yeah, what I mean, I guess so. Let's start. So I'm gonna start. I've got bald tires, doing version one for $1,000. It's a class E, and that's the other key. How good you upgrade your car impacts what class it is considered, and races are classed. So you are not allowed to race in you're not allowed to race a D or C class car in an E class race.
Right.
So if my car, oh my god, I lose immediately. All right. Well, I mean, I got money, but um, another key cheat, not even a cheat code. You have a turbo button, and what you really should do if you're using a turbo button, you press V, and it puts those little jets on the back. When you corner, you need to turn off your turbo button so you don't take the curve. So you want to take curves as like tight as possible. And
Hmm.
that really is the key around this game is two things. I don't know, is there official term for basically riding on the front of another car like in real racing?
No, it's and yeah, Talus remembers the vector cars. And that's an interesting thing that you found racing with the vector cars helpful. Like for me, it was just a debug tool,
Well,
but for you, like it's helping you like see where the car is pointed, which I thought was interesting.
I'll give spoilers to you ahead of time, which is cool. And this is an awesome part about this game. In about an hour, hopefully, with how good I am, and hopefully you're good too. But man, you are doing terrible right now. You're stuck before level one. You haven't even bought an engine.
I haven't
What are
even
you doing?
started. No, I do have an engine.
Yeah.
See, I'm already like on level race 28.
What? How dare you,
I just
cheater?
loaded my game. Makes it easy.
You're gonna get kicked out of Radical Racers for cheating. Um, so the game gets insane. So it's very much like if you were listening to a podcast at 5x speed and just kind of every 10 minutes upped it by a quarter. And that's what makes it cool because it actually you kind of get used to it. And then by the time you're at race number 60, the last race in the normal career game, it looks absurd. which we will see, which is cool.
Yeah, which is like originally the game was going to be longer, right? Because I do have like two more classes beyond what you can get through in this championship.
Yeah, you go through X class, right?
Yeah, this goes
Or
up to X, but it just gets so fast and so hard to control. I thought that probably wasn't very fun for the player, so I split that off into like its own career, which is, whoops,
so, and by the
which
way,
is this hypercar career.
one weird aspect
If
of
you
this
start
game,
out with Y.
yeah, and you if you use money, you can just it's absurd how fast you go in that. Um, two important dynamics of this game for winning. Oh, and by the way, the V button
Oh no.
gives you the little vector car in front of you, which, as Landon noted, is kind of weird. Where I think it's useful because it's like it's almost like lining up your shot. Like I line up the vector to see where I want to go because you see the vector car when it splits in two, you're basically told this is where I am and this is where I'm going.
Hmm.
And sometimes if you don't have it on and you're just steering the car, it's funny because you like can turn too quick because you're going like you're like I'm pointing straight so I want to turn right now, but your car is actually like going really fast so it's in the middle of a turn and it's like no, I don't want to turn there. Let's see. And what I tend to do strategy wise, and this isn't strictly needed, this is overkill, but one thing I kind of looked up is just how much money you have by the time you kind of get to the higher level cars and how much you need. So you can get away with fully upgrading the Super Cat engine and holding that on until you get the one free engine you get. The little shop guy will go there. He lies to you. This guy tells you a lot of stuff
He
and sells
doesn't lie. No, he's your friend.
he
He's there to help you. He's not.
he makes the claim
Uh-huh.
that if you win an engine or a body as the first class in a car or in a race, you have to get first. To
Right.
my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, as someone who has cheated and looked at the source code,
Hmm.
there is no race in the normal career mode that gets you a body.
That's true.
So he's a
That
liar.
that doesn't make
I
him
mean,
a
I guess. Oh,
liar.
this is the stupid CS argument where you're like, he said or, and you get an engine, and you only get one engine, so that's fun.
Is there only one? There might only
There's
be
only
one.
one engine. The hyper one's the
The
only one you get.
Hypercat, yeah.
It's a
Very
cool one.
important race to win that Hypercat. No, like it's true though. Like if there was a body you could win, you have to get first. Those
You
are the
can't prove
rules.
that. We don't know.
I can prove it. I can prove it in the code.
Well, you could just make up the code. Could be
I did make up the code.
well. I've had that annoying thing where I've just been that guy's made up, and then people like all stories are made up. Okay, so this is where it's key. The spirit body comes in and it's lighter. Your current body is 3,000. There are
Hmm.
also new engines, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy the spirit. And what you notice, and you can see this, that's good, is when you start upgrading your car, it is entirely possible that your car is too good. And so like the easiest thing to do is just drop the suspension. But you
Yeah.
also want to be
Yep.
careful about upgrading your engine immediately because sometimes that makes it really hard. I think there is one configuration either on Green Car or Rivta Rivita,
Rivet?
Ri VT,
Yeah, rivet.
Ri V squared T, uh, R Vermont.
All right, well, he's struggling with that. Let me try something here. All right,
Okay,
now you see the title screen on the left over there?
I see a
This
car on my left.
on on my stream.
Now he has to stay on my left if he wants to pass. Otherwise, it's rude.
Oh, well.
You should pass on the left.
Anyway, what you're looking at on the left over here is actually the original game. Um,
How'd you get that
running.
up?
It's I've so I got my laptop plugged into my Elgato with an HDMI cable, and so so what you're seeing here on the left is running on my laptop.
What laptop? Like how old?
Uh, I bought it in 2010.
So it's state of the art.
Yeah, it's it's my laptop. But if I yeah, so should look pretty similar. You'll notice like the cars have like this white outline. That's one of the glitches I could never fix on quote unquote modern computers because even this computer's like 10 years older than They're newer than the game, or 8 years. But so I can never get the graphics to look quite right. I was a little surprised when I fired this up again that it does run pretty good on this old laptop, but like if you wanted, you can compare and like this
Oh, a three tanker.
should
These
look
are always
pretty close to what you're doing.
these are really nice. Now, a
Oh,
funny thing
except there
that can
won't be any
happen.
tanks in this version.
Oh, geez, what the heck? That tank's fast. A funny aspect of this game
Mhm.
is that you are capable of restarting any race, and as long as there is nothing on the line, it really doesn't impact anything. Doesn't impact your score. Like if I'm let's do a thing really quick. I'm gonna exit. I'm gonna go to fake. I'm just gonna do race. I'm gonna start. I don't have a thing. An engine. I'm gonna race. I'm gonna start.
I do think
If
the
you
tire tracks look better in the original.
let's see. Um, at the size I am looking, it is barely noticeable, but I will grant it to
Yeah,
you.
it's probably hard to tell, but they start off a little lighter. I might be able to tweak them a little more in the Godot version that you're playing. But yeah, in if you're interested, anyone watching, you can play this on spacetobricks.com. I've got it up there.
Okay, so the cool thing is, if you start up a race, actually, this might even apply to award races. If you start up in a race and hit escape, the race
Hmm.
restarts quick enough. You can't let the race start. You can look at the cars there, and something I haven't gotten good enough with my eyesight to do, or just like memory,
Hmm.
is like one of these races. River is the most important race in the game, bar none. For like, if this ever becomes a speed race game, River is the level because River is where you get an upgraded engine for free, and that is
The track is Rain, I think, but yeah.
listen. First comes River, then comes Rain. Um,
We'll go with
listen.
that.
Okay. Thank you. I wouldn't have. I'd be like, you're out. Okay, so Rain is the most important track, which is where you get I think it's an A class engine.
I don't remember that off the top of my head, but something like that.
Yeah, not like you wrote it. And you absolutely have to beat that. So I've found that there are a random number of cars that start the race with you,
Hmm.
and they're randomized to the point of the types of body they have and then the skills they have attached on type of that body, like how many
Yeah,
upgrades they do.
right. And
So
that's something that the shop guy tells you, by the way. He's like, you don't always race the same people, so you might get easier people next time.
yeah, well, I don't trust liars, so you can
No, he's
say
not a
whatever you
liar. Everything he says is the truth.
want. All right, he says he has the best shop choices in town.
He does.
If that's true, there aren't any other shops.
Yeah.
He says someday there should be other shops with the creative. Oh, did you see that? That was a good maneuvering.
That was good.
Yeah, but he uh, so yeah, like in theory, you could start a race and know that you're in trouble based on the body type of the other car, and just immediately go, never mind.
Right, yeah.
But the easiest trick I've used for that is if you see in later stages, if you see a bunch of tanks, and this happened organically, in my first win of the game. So the first time I beat the game, which I did record and I sent along to Landon, um, I got just like one of the later levels where it was starting to get hard because I did not win enough races fast enough to get the best car body in the game. So I was stuck on the Riv T, the Riv Vermont. Um, and so I was having trouble like winning the last stages. Like I could place, which is all you need to advance in the game,
Hmm.
but it's hard to win. But then there were some cars. Then there was like a level that started that had like 3 tanks, and I was like, all right. And then I just like won.
Right.
And then there was another. Then there was another. Then like in some of them, they start hugging the walls if there's enough wall in the race. Um, and they'll just all explode, which is kind of funny. Oh, I did that wrong. That's annoying.
I think I took that line out of there, Talis. I didn't. I think I wouldn't use. I don't remember if that's still in the career or not.
Wait, why did you have that in the career?
I don't know. I was
Right.
just making him say
One
stuff.
one one thing I'm failing here is, and this is the most important. There are two important aspects of the game, and I don't know if the corner does it itself, but the main thing is, and the shop guy does tell you this. Besmirch the name of the all-loving and all-knowing shop guy.
He's like your only friend in the whole Radical Racers world.
Well, like when you start talking, you discover you're in like some weird dystopia where a bunch of mad scientists have made like fireproof suits to like have racers just race and explode all the time.
Not just fireproof, explosion proof.
Yeah, right. But basically, you can, if you see what I've been doing, and I'm not doing it great.
Oh, did it? Maybe was that in there? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but maybe it was.
If you can hold yourself in front of the car, which I didn't do there, I needed to do on that last corner, they'll push you, and it will make you go faster. So like you can see my engine is slower than these cars, but basically they take the corners wide so I can cut the corners, and then when I cut the corners, I have them hit me. And I'm not 100% sure the math, but it seems like if you can get them to hit you on a diagonal, you kind of like rock it. And I'm also not sure if you hit the corner properly, like if you turn fast enough, if that helps your velocity. I'm debating if I should I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, so you noticed a little quirk of the Godot version where something about the way it does its physics, if you do like turn into a corner and like actually hit the apex while you're turning, it will like swing you around the corner a little bit. It's weird, and I didn't care enough to take it out because it's kind of neat, I guess.
In some ways, that's cool because, like I was saying, like an awesome speedrunner could be someone who could that could be a category of this game is beat the game with no upgrades. And basically, it's like, can you corner enough to get in front of a car and literally stay on it? Because like that's an easy strategy. Like if we're on a straightaway to the win, and I'm in front of the car, I didn't do it right there, but like this, stay in front of the car. And if I stay in front of the car, they haven't. And I mean, that is actually like real racing strategy, right? Like if they can't go around me,
yeah, if you just
they'll have to slow. I mean, that's real racing, right? They have racers block other ones. If you're on the same team, you block other ones and you let your own through. Like, so in many ways, I like it. I like it.
Got some new cars.
Yeah. So like the ideal point to Lannon's thing is, and I'm not good enough to do this intentionally regularly, but what you want to do is you want to have a car push you, and then right when you hit the apex, if you turn, you like not only get the velocity of the car that was pushing you, you get like rocketed. And I've had that happen a few times where I've like won races with inferior things.
Yeah, and that's one of the differences between the version you're playing and the original that I've got going here. Is the original doesn't do that. So the physics are a little bit different. The collision detection is a little bit different. Because like you can go inside cars a little easier in the original, which has certain advantages, but
I had that and I blew it. I needed to turn up in front and get him to push me a little, and I didn't. So we'll try again. Actually, trial E. So what race are you on, Mr. Cheater, on Infinity Races? Or did you start over?
I started over on the original game.
All right, I'm definitely that'd be fun to see. I'll actually watch when I'm done to see what the original looks like. Does it have mouse squeaks in it? That's what that sounds like.
No, that's my chair.
Should upgrade your chair in the shop. Mr. Shop Owner loves you. Probably selling a new chair.
He probably will, actually.
That's always the bummer, is when you take the turn right, but you're too close to another car and they shove you. Because normally if you've got enough clearance, you can just take the corners inside. And really the goal, like if you learn any maps, is you just want to take the inside corner where you can cut away. Like this is one.
Right.
That's one. This is kind of one.
Yeah, and as I was developing, especially the Godot version, like that was pretty frustrating even for me. So like I knew anyone who played it, like you don't want to get just pushed around by all the other cars on the track. So I tried to fix that a little bit. You still do probably more than you should, but
the other aspect of kind of the reverse drift you've implemented is right now on turbo, it doesn't matter. Like I can hold turbo the whole race and it will not destroy me, but you can see it is giving me damage, which is based on my body. What you really want to make sure happens is in later races, your car is fast enough that if you held turbo the entire time, you would just like die. And that's some of my favorite races is when some of the other cars just hold turbo the whole time, and then they die. And then like if you can get in front of them early enough, they'll hug the wall to try and chase you down. and then they just all like burn. And in fact, I think you remember this. I know for sure I was doing it a little, and I've started doing it more intentionally on later playthroughs as I practice to just make sure I can beat this on a stream. Um, you can like intentionally just burn them out by shoving them into the wall.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
it's not worth it here, but I could go up next to this car, shove it right until it's touching the wall. The logic of the car is if you are in front of it, either via drift or even via turbo, it will start using its turbo to catch you. So you can basically shove a car into a wall, get in front of it, which I will definitely be doing. I'll be demonstrating this. Come on. All right. Do one more time, then I'll go to rain's a little easier than trial F. Because a lot of what makes the early stages, like what's going to dictate how easy they are, is like how many turns you can gain ground on.
Right.
Because
Yep.
then you don't have to worry about like proper drifting and not running into stuff. Like any race with a lot of straightaways like this early in the game isn't your friend because they'll catch you. Any race with a lot of curves, and by the way, take a shot every time I say this. The shop guy does tell you that.
Yeah, that's right. The shop guy will tell you that other drivers aren't very good at turns. So if you can get good
Yeah.
at turns,
Yeah, so
see,
like
the shop
the
guy's
easy
your friend.
usually what happens on earlier races is you get a good enough engine that you're able to turbo, and if you turbo and take the curves, the only real like hard one, okay, this is the most important race in the game. You got to beat rain. And usually what I do is I come in here inside, I let him slingshot me down this straightaway, and then I just try and stay in front the whole race, and then just make sure there are straightaways on this one, but the thing is just make sure you hold around here
Hmm.
because that's where they'll come up, and then you'll match their velocity going into the next lap. Let them push you here. See, I didn't get a major push, but I got a minor push from that purple car, and then hope you're able to take the lead with a combination of the turns. So you can see that rain, especially this is easily well easily for a good player doable with just two upgrades on the Super Cat and the Spirit engine. I do tend to on this game always go for any tire and suspension upgrade you can get. I think there's one you can skip because you win two quite close to it, but usually tires and suspension really dictate the game,
Hmm.
and you'll see. So now this is the most important card. This is very useful too if you weren't awesome enough. This is the 200 RX. You'll notice it is a D and E car, and cars like that are like in theory, admittedly the Veritor 4, the Veritor I5. What's I5? 1.5? The Veritor 15 then, right?
It's
Yeah, that's how you do
no,
it. That's how Roman numerals work.
it's a four.
No, it's one because there's a 1 there and a 5, and a 1 next
Oh,
to a 5 is 15. I've been teaching my kid math.
oh, good.
Um, it's just a Class C car. So, and you'll even notice what happened. My car, I need to
Let,
give a new engine, and then now it's Class C. And let's see. I
let
think
me
I've got it.
let me show
Yeah.
you why it's the Veritier 4. I'm gonna do some.
You're going to be like, when you program things, you name things to a variable, and variables are what is
Let
assigned.
me see
That's it.
see like my old school desktop I have here. I even gave it like the Windows 98 theme, so it looks like I'm playing on an old computer.
And usually, and you'll notice this is the case here, anytime you upgrade a body and a car, with the exclusion of the green car in the A class, because Landon is, you basically, like, that's the funny point. You could either make the argument that you made a pretty good game with a leveling issue on A to S, or you could make the argument that you made like a game with an intentional, like, pretty smooth sailing up to A, and then like pretty smooth sailing after S, like at bare minimum being able to like win the like place top three and get to the title screen.
mm.
But did make one difficult part that does require like a little bit of ingenuity. So
So here's a graphic I showed back in the day showing how we ended up with the Veritier 4 from the original car from Bitmap Test. And you'll see it's the fifth car in the evolution, which is why it's the Veritier 4.
I don't get it. What do you mean fifth car in the evolution? Hence
I don't
four.
get it either. I don't know. This was a mistake. I shouldn't have shown this because now I just look ridiculous.
I don't even know what's going on.
It's on my stream if you're.
You know what I do love about that team though of those cars evolution. Like I really love Randy Orton as a driver. Ric Flair drives drunk a little too much for my taste. But can't ever go wrong with Triple H.
Oh yeah, they're racers.
They're members of Team Evolution.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I made a lot of like goofy art back in the day for just because.
Why not? It looks good. No, I mean, I am not blowing smoke in that this is a very fun game and very well put together and very enjoyable. And I could even see someone who know like more talent, like people that I watch that do professional speed running that know how to do things quick. Like I would love to see someone who knows how to race, like play racing games and take these corners, like literally like rocket off the edge, drift in front of another car the whole way, and
Hmm.
then like in the end like force it to explode, which is entirely doable, which is awesome. What did you do to this car, you cheater? Made it super fast. I have to open up my cheat sheet and see if I was supposed to. I think I was. Twin Max is a tough one because to the same point, it's got a straightaway. If this was a class B, A, or S race, it would be easier because you can
Right.
see
Yeah.
what you really want to do if you can, and this is doable in most races, is if you can get in front of the fastest car early in the game, hold it against, get in front of it against the wall. Let me see, what is my, we'll look at the cheat sheet together. Not really a
Here's
cheat sheet, it's like a walkthrough.
here's my mock-up for what I was gonna make the garage look like.
New cars.
I'll show some Radical Racer development art while you're playing. People.
Yeah, I think you could update the engine here, but I'm gonna try one more time to beat Twin Max. But yeah, like this, what I'm doing right now in later races is almost a guaranteed win. If there is a later race where there is a straightaway where you can take a turn fast enough early on
Hmm.
and literally just press the car, have the cars follow you in a lineup against the wall, they will all explode on like lap two, which is really cool and really fun.
Here's the original
On
shop guy.
Yeah, I'm glad you downgraded him. You're like, he looks too good for this game. Okay, I think I'm going to do one upgrade on the engine.
All right. I do
Okay,
have
let's
the
add.
you were talking about the font earlier. I do have the original font. Um, or do I? Or maybe that's just in old versions. Like a lot of the old versions don't run anymore, even on this old laptop. Um,
Remember that Weezer song, "You're the Font"?
you know.
All right. Based on that old TV show? No. All right. Wasn't
What?
a half bad joke. Okay, I'm going to
Not.
upgrade my engine. I'm going to be lame. Oh, actually, I should just upgrade it to normal tires. That's what you always want to upgrade. Um, you always want to upgrade your parts because you can see I was just able to take that corner a lot quicker, and then now I can like either force the cars to push me, which is key, allows me to stay almost in first.
Mhm.
If I wasn't such a noob, I would have easily done it there. Like I would have just had that green car pushing me that entire straightaway, possibly even getting itself to explode. Um, but I'm doing terribly right now, which is sad. Um, yeah, sorry. There's a Weezer song called "The Font." Oh, that's Smash Mouth. That's why you didn't recognize it. The Smash Mouth song, "The Fonz."
I don't know that one either.
Do you listen to music?
I guess not. All right. I guess
In the
not.
dystopian future of radical racers, all music is destroyed. I think I
It's
shot
not
that.
dystopian. No, it's a happy,
It is
happy
not
future.
happy.
How is it not happy?
It's
You know
just
what?
not.
Um,
What?
so do you want to hear how popular this game was back in the day?
How popular?
So I've got some well, here, just listen. If you can, I don't know if you'll be able to even hear this because it's gonna go through.
What?
I don't know what it's gonna go through, but tell me if you.
Radical Racers
Well,
is
as a
like the
software
greatest
engineer, you
game
always
ever.
know any
I mean,
presentation
like,
with random
oh
audio visual
my
is
God.
always a good
The
idea.
graphics are like so
Never bites you.
amazing, and I think that like everybody should
Embed
like
a
play
video
it
in your
like okay.
PowerPoint
It
presentation.
looks like it took Landon years to complete.
Okay, you definitely didn't hear that because you were talking while it was going.
It was super quiet, man.
Could anyone on chat hear that? Or,
Well, I'm not listening. Actually, I'm not listening to your channel either because I'm
yeah,
listening to.
right.
That's a bummer, actually. And
Yeah,
of course, anybody on my channel doesn't hear like on your channel. Like we
trust me,
want to fix that. What did it say? I'll watch it later.
it is really funny. It's something I made Oh, it's got the timestamp on here. 2003. Yeah, long time ago.
I was a
And
sophomore.
that's what they were saying. But that's just one. That was just one person, right? So, but
Mhm.
here let's hear what everyone else had to say.
Radical Racers is like the greatest game ever. I'm like, oh my god, the graphics are so amazing. I think that like everybody should like play it looks like it took 11 years to complete.
I did that wrong. I need to take that turn a little faster.
Hey, you see? Isn't that
Oh,
something?
nice. We actually okay. So here's my.
It's really a shame you couldn't hear that because that was very
I will
funny.
listen later. I tend to like re-listening. I'm not even kidding. I tend to like re-listening on faster speeds. So I'll listen on like 2x.
Hmm.
If I ever edit it, I download it and I listen on 3x.
Nice.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, let's talk about. I don't know if it's a bug, a glitch, it's bullshit, and you know it. And I think
What?
we've talked about it before. Tell me about the ghost cars.
What ghost cars?
There are ghost cars in the game.
There are no ghost cars in the game.
There are ghost cars in the game.
You're making up there's no ghost. There's no if the
There are
shop guy doesn't talk
cars.
about it, then it's
There
not
are
in the
cars
game.
in the game that blow up in front of you, which is very confusing. And I have actually won a race. True story. I have won and lost a race running into a ghost car at the finish line. So there are other cars. There are invisible cars running the track, and
There
depending on
are
if you,
They're not they're not
there are. I'm not making this up. Like, are you messing with me? Like,
I'm not messing with you. How could there be ghost cars?
there are. Like, I'm not. I've literally played this game. I have
Why
played this
why
game
would
way.
the
I have
Okay.
played this game way too much. And I
You've
swear to
probably
God,
played it nearly as much as I have by now. Like, this
if
is
you make me decompile the source code, I mean, actually, you gave me the source code,
Yeah,
so I
I've
don't know why
given
I would do
you
that.
access to the source code, you know.
If you may, and by the way, as a living, that's what I do, right? Is you dig through legacy source code, and they're like, hey, this thing doesn't work, and
Right.
they're like, oh yeah, by the way, 8 years ago, someone did this, and that technology is outdated, and it adds an artifact. So if you're gonna make me do that on my off time, I mean,
You're
probably
you're you're welcome to, but I was watching your previous streams where you were playing this and you mentioned the ghost cars. And I think what you're seeing is just cars exploding at other parts of the track and the explosion just cuz like the track gets close to each other like right where you pass over the bottom part of this track. If somebody exploded down there while going
Oh,
up,
Hey,
it would look like
hey, you're
they
getting called out in chat, so guess I'm special. Guess you don't just share the source code with any. Well, it's. Have you all seen that movie, The Last Starfighter?
yeah, yeah.
Where, like, of course we all, but I'm gonna recap it just in case for future people that when the aliens come and take over and destroy it, so we don't know how to defeat them. Like they'll be able to like listen to this and it might give advice. So the premise of The Last Starfighter is there's like this evil guy trying to take over the galaxy and like we need good pilots, but we don't have enough good pilots. We apparently have enough well, not we, but like the Galactic Federation or whatever
Hmm.
has enough resources like send this guy all over the galaxy looking for pilots, and I don't know where he's getting the resources for that, but fine. He goes to Earth with a plan of, hey, they have these video games on this planet. What if I make the video games a simulation of piloting one of these ships, and then I have like in the source code when you beat the game, it alerts me and I come back and I'm like, hey, join the Federation, help out. And like, spoiler, sorry for spoiling an 80, like possibly a future nerd episode too, because I could definitely see this being a nerd episode.
Oh yeah.
Um, spoiler, you're massively outgunned and screwed, except apparently your ship has like an insane kill mode that has a button and they're like, don't press that. And you're like, why? And they're like, because
it's too awesome. That's why.
they're like, because the movie needs to be 2 hours. If you press it now, all of your friends won't die and we'll win. You're like, all right, well, whatever. So yeehaw, won something. Let's see, I won semi-sport tires. So that's the thing. In theory, there you can try and skip the normal tires and just go for semi-sport, but I actually recommend upgrading to normal tires, or I don't know if it's normal. You're very confusing in that you give the tires and suspension the same name at the same class, and they do have different graphics, which is fine, but then it makes it confusing to remember. It's much easier to remember different names, but that's a minor nit. I want to stress that like the first time we went through this game, we used all the ammo on like the ho 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 one developer squad that instead of focusing on design, which by the way, even if you had done state of the art 2001 design, like
Which
go
I
look at
promise
like
you I didn't.
go look at like Gran Turismo or like Forza from that era. Like go find a PlayStation 2. You probably have one, right? Like you were Ryan.
I've been playing Gran Turismo 1 and 2.
Yeah, so I mean, like you could take a screenshot and just be like, had I put all the effort, like that, the menu part, which is the easiest dig on the game, still would have aged poorly. It just would have aged and in some ways, by keeping it kind of like campy. I've made this argument before on the Nerd Podcast, which I always hype. We were talking Five Goes West. I noticed that Five Goes West versus An American Tail, which are Don Bluth. Well, American Tail is Don Bluth. Five Goes West is a sequel that was made without Don Bluth. It was made with Steven Spielberg's input. Steven Spielberg really wanted to improve the quality of animation, whereas American Tail, which is made by Don Bluth, and a lot of Don Bluth's movies, which he did make, is like he was a Disney animator that broke off and did his own stuff, was eventually acquired by Steven Spielberg, and then they split over creative differences. But American Tail is like a painting, and so when you go back and watch it, yeah, it doesn't like it's not as crisp as future stuff, but it's stylized and looks good. Whereas when you look at Five Goes West, it looks much better technically than American Tail, but it ages worse because I mentioned in the episode, and I think I'm right, at that point, like the animation quality for say like Disney Afternoon, like the Goof Troop and DuckTales and stuff like that, or whatever that we all watched and loved, it was as good as that. So that's the problem is when you watch it now, you're just like, okay, and then I mean that's.
No, I was just gonna say you're right. It does look like a Saturday morning cartoon, which is how I watched it when I rewatched it, which is probably why I didn't hate it as much as like you guys did or do. But
had you seen American Tail, the first one, when you were a kid?
That was one where like I remembered scenes of it when I was watching it, but when I'd first seen it, if I ever did see the entire thing, it would have been so long ago. I just didn't remember most of it.
Entropy has new cars. This is where you get the green car, and I recommend just upgrading your car and engine here.
Yeah,
and then in theory, if you can get first place from here on out, you can get the Rivet, which is I would argue like it's not technically, but I would argue it's the second best car in the game because you could use it for a really long time. And there's really only one car better, and you can use the Rivet to get a new engine. But in theory, from this point out, if you can get first in every race, you can just kind of afford things. That's like the only thing speedrun wise I'm not perfect at is I can't guarantee I will get first in any race. It is a weird comment. I am good enough to get first in every race, but I'm not precise enough to like guarantee it. And like I said, this game is highly speedrunnable with how you built it, which is really cool because I want to see like most left, because a thing you have in this game is the amount of money left in races you have completed, because you advance if you get first, second, or third. It's all the prize money for first, half the prize money for second. Is it a third of the prize money for third?
I believe so, yeah.
Cool. And it gets funny because that gets exponential. So oh, by the way, ran into this. It's really important to grab cars that can upgrade. And so I can take a C or B class engine, and that in fact means this car can get up to A. So I'm going to downgrade my suspension so I'm able to race in B class races because I just upgraded my engine thrice.
Right. That's why cars that can only take like one engine class are cheaper.
And
they
that's
take
useful.
are more expensive.
But yeah, that's what makes it cool. Is it would be really cool to see from a speedrun that like, okay, let me start doing what I always do. Which is the easiest thing to do. Which is if you're not developing something, you give ideas, and you say, I'm an ideas man, and you claim that you're worth something, and you're not, and there are a million of you in Silicon Valley. Anyway, you should all give me lots of money, because I'm an ideas man and I know stuff, and I was lying about what I said there. We're valuable, Landon. You should pay me.
I should pay.
But, yeah, you don't know where I'm going. I'm like the shopkeeper. You don't know if I'm telling the truth or not.
We can trust this.
But it would be really cool if you kind of did what you did in... Okay, here's a question. I don't know. in your opinion, or do you know? I haven't experimented with this enough. Is it better if you have to downgrade your suspension or your tires?
Um, Part of that does kind of depend on the track, like the race you're gonna do. I'll usually downgrade my suspension first. I can't remember that downgrading tires might make a bigger difference.
I think it seems like you skid more with downgraded tires, whereas like
Oh, you definitely
suspension
do, yeah.
with suspension, like if you notice, what is awesome is if I can just do that. Like if I can literally just if I what I should be doing is let go of turbo and then just do a full hard turn. And apparently what I really should be doing is like try one reason I'm not as good as that at that like hack you said where apparently 45 miles an hour is good. Okay, interesting. Okay, all right. You might be right. Let's discuss the true origin of the ghost car.
There's
So, and yeah,
I can promise
yeah,
you there's no ghost cars.
there are ghost cars, but you're gonna have an explanation that's gonna
Probably.
line up with what I'm about to say. And I don't care. Your ghost cars. When the
This
car
wolf is
breaks up,
fast.
it like has a bunch of little things. At
Mhm.
least one of them has mass that you can run into, as you're pointing out.
They
I
should
think
not.
I
But
think it, I think
that is kind of
okay.
I
You
can't
you either
promise
have
that though,
you
honestly.
either have ghost cars or like engines that run into your car from an explosion. Because I just if you- go everybody rewind your tape. Just take a second, turn Landon off, go rewind the tape on mine. You'll notice I slowed down going through an explosion. That, to Landon's point, was on further along on the track because the track does this. And in fact, I love hate you for this with how you build some of the levels, which is I'm I haven't like quite chessed this out yet where I've memorized every level. And I
Mhm.
made that observation when I did this the first time where you have a couple of tracks that are single lap,
Right.
and those are a lot harder for me, maybe not for other people, doing them the first time because for if there's like a three rack, 3 lap track, there we go. If there's a 3 lap, you
Yes.
know what? I said it right once, so we're good. Just go back in time and remember when I knew how to speak.
All right. I'll
One, you
remember.
have more time. Like these cars right here are killing themselves, following like one just did.
Mhm.
So there's a bigger like you can actually get some of the faster cars to die just organically. And two, like if I forget a turn, I do it once and I remember it. Now in theory, if I have played this game a lot and I should have a better memory, but like this is kind of one of the same reasons I'm not as great at chess as I could be, is like without intentional study, as in like printing out a map and looking at it, which I have done for other games. You know, I've done it for like Zelda and stuff.
Right.
I'm just not gonna be that good yet. Oh, and so sorry to finish up. So Talus99 said Landon cares about your opinion. Let's get back to Last Starfighter. What I was gonna say is, um, I sorry. So it's like that. I was the first person to beat this game, but the win wasn't you get to be an awesome race car driver like in Gran Turismo. One of these days, you and I have to just go see that. Like next
Yeah.
time if you ever like come through Appleton and need a couch to crash on for the night, like if you like do a motorcycle ride or something on like the South Dakota or something, and you want to do a stop in, I'd be happy to like order pizza and get that movie. That'd be a
That
fun night.
sounds pretty awesome. Yeah.
I know, right? It's almost like okay. So by the way, I as you might be aware on Instagram, you didn't quite have time to watch, which is fine. But Jeff May and I broke some packs of cards, and I have really been leaning like I am taking advantage of Jeff being like, it's my birthday, Jeff. So I was like, we need to talk about searching for Bobby Fischer. It's my birthday. I'm like, you need to break some packs of
that that
2015-16 Donruss cards because it's my birthday.
that
Um,
that's right. We didn't mention it on streams, especially after people showed up, but it is Dre's birthday today. It is Nerd Numbers' birthday.
so yeah,
So
my ended up plan was I wound and this is awesome. I took off work mostly. I failed. I can't believe I turned into this. You knew me in college, so can you believe this nonsense? I actually put in time to leave work early. Like I put it on the calendar.
mhm.
And I left 10 minutes late because basically I'm going to deploy this. To be fair, just for any software developer listening, because I know it's a Friday and like the line, I deployed this thing. I literally deployed it to a test environment. So I didn't like basically what I did is I like wanted somebody to have time to test a thing before the weekend, and then if they liked it, the plan is, and seems to remain intact, is if they like it, I can come back on Monday morning and then get it going early in the day. So I left about 10 minutes early. I left about 10 minutes late because I wanted to get that pushed right before I left, and I thought it was going to take less time, so I stayed late. It's fine. And then I realized I hadn't changed the PR out of draft mode. So then I just ran through a car, and I don't know where that explosion came from. That car is in front of me. Where did that explosion come from? How did it get there? They're all behind me.
I missed it. I don't know.
I'm gonna go back in time. Dre, click. I just did that. Sorry if I hurt anybody's ears. I did that so I can download this, and then look for. Thanks, Mitty. And then look for the spike. That was very rude, though. I apologize. I should have warned.
No, that's smart. That's a good idea.
Yes, that's how you become a good streamer, is hurting people's ears. That's what I hear.
Didn't hurt my ears.
So
I don't care about anyone else's.
Yeah, man, just like the shopkeeper.
Oh, no.
He doesn't care about other people. But so I did that, and then I realized I hadn't put the final thing into final mode, so I logged back on and it wasn't real work, but I was someone even asked me, they were like, hey, you're leaving early, are you putting in time off, like a coworker? And I was like, oh yeah, I am. It's I was like, the reality is actually it's not that, I would always do that, just so we're clear if anybody's listening. But it's I'm not going to be besmirching anybody that works late on a Thursday night, and then Friday everybody's gone, especially on holidays, and takes off a little early, and be like, you really needed to report that. I'm not going to say that. But I was also the logic being, I didn't want to log back into work. And I'm if I report the time off, I'm not going to log back into work. And surprise, I logged back into work.
For anyone watching my side, I did just cheat there because one of the quirks of the original game is the crash detection was terrible because I just rode it myself, and that car did just push me through the track.
Don't watch the cheater, watch the real player here. Look at this. Look at down to the wire. I'm almost out of damage.
Trying to watch and play at the same time.
Don't do that.
The original game actually has some really has even more cheats than the Godot version, which has only some.
So last Starfighter, I won this game, and as a result, the cheat was actually, I didn't become a race car driver like Gran Turismo. I got access to the source code. It was you've beaten the game. You can help develop the game for free. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, it's actually a good idea. It's not bad. Anyway.
Yeah, and Talus. It was kind of this joke for a long time where the Radical Racers, the original Radical Racers C++ code is so bad and so embarrassing that I was like, no one can ever see this code. And I kept it that way, but now that it's been 22 years, when I was going back through it again to make the Godot version, and of course I don't care who sees the Godot version, but it was pretty entertaining going back and seeing what old just some of the stuff I did was really bad, probably even for the time, but it was really entertaining at the same time, and pretty funny, and translating that to Godot and doing all the same dumb stuff just to make it behave as much the same as I could was a pretty fun project. And so I'm this really was, I know I've said this before, but this really was a project I did just for me. I thought it'd be fun to recreate Radical Racers and just kind of preserve it in something that runs correctly on modern computers and in the browser, it turns out, which is also awesome. But yeah, the fact that you're enjoying it and that you're playing it, that I think that's really cool. I think it's awesome that somebody is enjoying Radical Racers after all this time.
Pretty rad. I messed up every turn of this race. I really need to be slowing down. I'm not racing 100%. Should do a Mike Tyson's punch out, don't give up, Mac. Call the Nintendo Fun Club today.
Yeah.
God. Almost, actually. That last turn, if you do it right, is beatable. But really what you want to do on early ones here is you want them to sling that turn there. If there is a right to left turn early in the race, you want them to slingshot you at that point, and that usually gets you a lead. Usually, basically, if you kind of viewed the map as a square, you really want to look for the corners for them to like here is where I would have wanted them to like push me at a good velocity, and I kind of did it. I almost did it. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good game. Like I'm not lying, and I mean like one of the most popular videos on one of my channels, and I have the same freaking issue on one of these, is I leave the mouse cursor on the OBS and I don't realize it. But
Right.
I found out how to get, like, in theory, I think, and I do not think this, it is hypothetically possible to beat this record organically, but it's really hard because it requires random number generation. And I don't know if you can alter the random number generator, and I also, like, it gets into that weird case where if it's like a 1 in 15 times 1 in 15, it's like literally you'd have to play it hundreds and hundreds of times to, you know, or not 100, but over 100 times, right, to get it. And you would actually have to, because of how it works, you would have to play the first half. So it's like, to see if it is theoretically possible, could, and 1 in 15 does not seem that outrageous. The reason I would think it might be like 1 in 15 is every time there is a face-off in Blitzball, the other person does an action. And so if that action is like even 60-20, even if you want the 60 right and they do it, you know, 6 times, like, you know, you could easily see, you know, 60% raised to the 6. That's actually pretty low. So even if it was high, even if it was like 80, that gets really low. And then you cannot know until you've started the second half if it is theoretically even possible. Like, you have to wait. So this is Blitzball and Final Fantasy X, and I have a video of me getting 23 goals in the first game, the first playable game. You have to play one game for storyline, and it doesn't matter if you win. And then you can play like for real as much as you want to your heart's content with like some constraints. And basically in the very first level with doing nothing, which is kind of a lie because I cheat and use the game. You have to play as a leveler, which you're not supposed to be able to do. I level up really high and find a way to get 23 goals in the first game of Blitzball. And like I said, I think the theoretical maximum is 24.
That's pretty good then.
Play it, you know, I start the second half if I can. Anytime the second half fails on the random, I start over. That's not quite legit, but I might do that for fun one of these days. But yeah, that exact kind of thing, like the breakdown of the logic of how to do that, the mechanics of the game, because, you know, Blitzball, you level up people and you want to worry about certain stats. Like, there's a lot of that in here. And then there's also, like, this is much more complicated than Blitzball. I kind of said, you know, this reminds me of Metroid because there are dynamics in this game that you have to get good at to win that are a lot of fun. And there are dynamics that if you're like, you know, like the wall jump, right? There is really, that's kind of cool. I don't think you did it on purpose, but you put a wall jump in this game. There is a wall jump in the Godot version of this game you've revealed. Which is like when you if you can hit the corner at the apex, it will launch you. And like actually what you need to do, and I like when you're driving by the apex, have another car ram you. And I've definitely done that. So
yeah,
but yeah, you added a wall jump.
I may be having network issues there, so there may be some stuttering. I know I'm getting that from you, and I think it's on my end. If anyone else is seeing that, so sorry about that. Been having some network issues recently. But
haha. Now this race I really should have worked better at getting the car in front of me to just die. But and here's where this gets interesting. There's enough money for first. I'm going to go back. So here is another dynamic of this game that is frustrating. Am I still stuttering?
No, you're good
Okay.
right now. It's just kind of like cutting out for a couple seconds and then it comes back. I think. I don't know. I'm not watching my own stream.
If I beat a 115, I'll. A dynamic of this game is every time you advance in a race, I believe that means getting third or better. You advance a day clock. And anytime a new item shows up in a shop at all, you have 10 days to purchase it. As in, you have 10 races that you place in to purchase it. The slight issue on this is you are allowed to replay any race in the game. So if hypothetically you had 5 or 6 races behind you and you want to go back and beat them all, and you keep getting, like, you can also just keep getting like second or third, and come on. You can keep getting second or third and get like pittance, like you can get like $100 to get third in some race with like $500 left in it. But that will advance the game clock. And so if you were trying to what I'm doing now is if you're trying to save money to get the best car, the second best car in my opinion, and the best engine for this portion of the game, if you do that a bunch, they'll go away before you get a chance. So really, you really want to maximize money you can make. So if there's left money, you really want to take the most you can get if there's any left. And even if there's a new race you don't think you can beat, if you think you can get second or third and third is higher than the left money on on any given race, you'd probably want to do that. So and that's my case here is that I'm trying to maximize money. I need 12,000 more after, or actually I think if I get first in this race, I'll have enough for oh, nice. Okay. Actually, I think I'm okay. Do you want to see the obnoxious? I did track this. Do you know how good Hyper Cheetah is versus, because the final version, Hyper Cheetah. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Hyper Cheetah, but I'm gonna go for Rivet.
Yeah,
and...
Rivet's a good car. It's pretty rare. Rare car.
Wait, what happened? What happened to my? Where did my money go? Did I spend money on something?
I don't know. Did you accidentally buy something?
Did I buy the Super Cheat on accident? No, I bought that on purpose. Yeah, I should have. Okay, I'm gonna slightly cheat because I did have the money. But I don't know what's going on. I think I bought something I didn't mean to. I think I bought a car or something I didn't mean to. I'm gonna buy the Rivet.
Okay.
And then I would, in theory, want to buy the Hyper Cheetah, right? Is the best one at the moment. And I don't actually have the money for that. So I need to go do beta. I need to actually go do beta 2 right now if I want to beat it in game. I'm kind of bummed that I might actually go back through and beat it correctly. What you can do that's nice is you can recreate the game pretty easily between A and oh, I did bald tires or something.
Alright, all over the place.
Yeah. I was looking through the wheels to see if I'd inadvertently bought the wrong wheels. I don't know what happened there, but I'll recreate where I was at really quick. Then you can maybe talk about something in the game, like ghost cars you didn't add.
Yeah, there's definitely no ghost cars. Let's see, how much horsepower does your car have?
I can go 168 when on thing.
Because, I think you're usually not playing with sound, which is fine, but the cars, I don't know if you noticed, but it will change the engine sound when you pass 400 horsepower.
That's cool.
I don't remember what the original sound effect I used was for the first cars. I know I was playing around with making sound effects, and some of them I think I just got off the internet, like the cash register, obviously. But when you pass 400 horsepower, then the sound changes to a real engine that is actually my brother's car that we recorded the exhaust for this game. So it's his old 76 Maverick, 76 Ford Maverick that we recorded the exhaust from. And so that's what the higher horsepower cars in Radical Racers are.
Or rain, garage.
Some of these other sounds I've got no idea. Like the upgrade sound, no clue what that is, but it sounds awesome. It's super loud. And all the sound effects in this game are ridiculously loud. I noticed that.
It's true. I turned stuff down.
Yeah. And I can't hear it. I've got it. I'm capturing the sound though when I'm playing it. I've got it turned what looks like low on the equalizer. I hope it's not too loud for anyone watching. But yeah, and as you noticed, this is called the Radical World Championship. I could not tell you why I called it that.
Oh, okay.
So I found other versions that say championship, but this one I don't know if it was a joke at the time or thought it was funny.
I don't know what the heck I purchased, but I'm gonna buy the Tachyon 2.
Okay.
Oh, I did buy the Tachyon 2, and then I didn't realize it. It was like, I was fine. I didn't need to do that.
Oh.
All right. and I can't. And I was able to afford both with 16. Okay, never mind. I thought I could have actually have just done it there, but now I can go on to beta 2
Very
with
nice.
a pretty awesome car. And so like at this point in the game, I'm actually quite pleased because at this point I have been able to get first place without what I would kind of phrase it as is like backtracking. Because one of the things
Mhm.
you could do, right, is I could get this new fancy engine and thing and then just downgrade my suspension
Yep.
and then just go back and win races that were hard there. So it's nice when you get new cars and you're like, I'm going to upgrade the car and I'm only going to use the car for races post upgrade.
Yeah.
Sorry, the feature request from the Ideas Man that never finished his idea and asked for pay, which sounds like a classic Ideas Man. It would be really cool if you could add like Metroid style timing of like what you won the race in, almost like you did in your Mega Man thing.
Oh, so like just how long the races
Yeah,
took.
like because I could see that being a good speed running metric, right? Is how
Yeah.
long like you're exactly like Metroid, right? When you finish the game, it's really weird, by the way, that Super Metroid, like you have an in-game timer, but that's for speedruns they don't use the in-game timer, like they use like the time, the animated time, which is kind of bizarre. But I
Yeah,
can kind of I
I
oh sorry, I
the
didn't cut you
I
off.
no, that's fine. I think the only maybe the reason is because the in-game timer isn't very precise. Like it only goes to the second, and in the speedrunning community, like tenths or milliseconds might
Actually,
make a
I think the
difference.
reason is to prevent cheating. And not like cheating, like
Okay,
a boring way to win it is because the thing doesn't go when you're in menu,
right.
and so it would make a heck of a lot of sense, right, if you were a good speedrunner to literally just like spam pause to be, and then like some of that is actually in the game, right? Is you need to at this point in the game like change your weapon to a certain type and then like wall jump up this and then use that weapon on a door and then switch to another weapon and then like change your configuration to this. And if you are allowed to literally stop and anytime you hit start to change, like if you are allowed to upgrade your configuration every time you want, the game gets a lot easier for people that know what they're doing, because you could literally just like on any boss make sure like you could spend 30 seconds per boss making sure that you have the best configuration, where like now what some speedrunners do is they literally are like switch to like super missile immediately right here, because you know certain doors take certain missiles, you need certain bombs to get through, so it's like what things you have enabled and what power-ups, like which things get through doors or whatever, matter. And
Hmm.
even like Super Metroid gets bizarre because how much damage you take gets funny too. Like ironically, like a lot of speedrunning games, there is a portion of the game where you want to get destroyed faster. So you want to make it easier to die quicker so the game goes faster.
Right. Yeah, that could be. I don't know. Like I kind of wonder if there are categories out there where
There
like
got it.
that
And I mean
tactic is
that's
allowed, right? Like I'd be interested to see like what people are doing
come
to take advantage of that.
on.
What happened?
Okay, give me the I like barely lost at the end. I was robbed. Oh, and this is where the at this point there's new items in the shop, and it's the savage. You give an out if it's too hard for people to have gotten this far. Um, you let them go back in time. You still give them an engine at the next level. So if they've just been getting a lot of thirds and seconds to like slowly grind, you show mercy for the first part of the game. After, in my opinion, the hardest part of the game.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like I have a hard time remembering what I was thinking when making the career because it did take a long time, right? Because there's just a lot of races and I remember wanting to keep it balanced. And so I'm sure I did like plenty of play testing, but
Well,
and
we've talked that a lot
I
with
think
other games,
and
like
I think I got input from like my friends who were playing at the time, but I don't remember like what I did to like adjust that really because there are kind of a lot of considerations in this game for like doing balance, like not only just the progression but all the parts, which as we've seen aren't really very balanced, right? Because there are some engines that are just not good to buy, right? They just don't really, they're not competitive,
and
which
the
is
game. I mean, if the game was a little longer, there could be the trade-off of okay, I'm gonna get this minor upgrade to get me just good enough to get to the next part. Do you want to explain the naming of AI test?
Yeah, that was a track I made to test the AI.
What's the? I do like AI tests because there are a lot of curves, and if you notice, I'm Pied Pipering them, which is which is what I call it in this game.
Okay.
Getting them to all stay in line on the wall, and they're
Nice.
all going to die.
And they all explode. Very
Yep.
smart. Yeah, the AI is very simple. Like the way the tracks are built, every tile has a flag saying what direction it is, like left, right, up, or down. And the car just looks at what tile it's on and it says go up, and it's like, am I going up? No, all right, so I'll rotate until I am going
Am I
up.
wrong? It does seem like the cars try and stay on a track. Like it does seem like certain cars stay. They try and get back on the track where they were when they started the game. Am I wrong there? Or am I?
What do you mean
I
by
could
that?
be. So like here, like it seems like the car's ideal world, they just try and stay where, like if they have their druthers, they try and get in the middle of the track where they started. But I don't quite know.
Oh,
Or is it
no,
just or is it
they're not
just
looking
like
at
if
that. That's just
like
coincidence.
each tile tells them what to do, and then they can get shoved around, and that's what kind of bases it. And
Yeah,
then they probably check proximity of other cars and other lanes.
no, they don't look at other cars. That's
So
why
that,
they can push you around because they don't know that you're in front of them. I
but
mean,
they do because
they know you're at a higher place than them, but they don't know where you are.
but they don't always do they? They don't always turn on their things. If you're like in first place, or do they?
It's they always turn on the turbo boost if you're in front of them, if you're in a higher place than them.
Oh, huh.
And that's the only time they turn on their boost. So like if they're in front of you, they'll never use the turbo boost or turbo nitrous.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Hmm.
Oh, now I know. I thought they looked to see like if you were turbo boosting next to them, and it is actually. I guess it is just like how close you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super
See,
simple. It to the point where I ran into issues like if the cars are too slow and like the corner tiles, if they were going super slow, they would turn as soon as they get onto the tile, which would put them right into the edge of the track, and they would just sit there like going up or down, left, right, or whatever, like not actually moving anywhere because the track's telling them to go left, so they're trying to go left. And even though they're just running into the track, they don't know that they're stopped.
So they're back on the track.
Which actually, now that I think about it, I did account for that because if they go below a certain speed, they start like randomly turning left and right, which will usually get them unstuck.
All right, new items are available in the shop. This does not matter. I don't. Well, actually, no. It's
Do I need
new tire. I don't know if I want to get semi racing yet. I'll see how I do. Maybe I do.
I need to buy
Oh, so by the way,
car.
because you weren't able to watch it, Jeff matched me. So he opened some packs of cards in his personal collection after. Do you
Okay.
want to hear? He opened one pack of each of these. Do you want to hear? You want
Yeah.
spoilers?
Sure.
All right. All right.
Yeah, if you want to talk
Okay.
about it, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. He opened Super Mario Brothers the movie.
Nice.
They are as terrible as you would imagine. Um, all of them are like close-up shots of actors with like nothing in the background scene. So just like Super Mario Brothers the movie. Here's a picture of John Leguizamo, and you're like, okay. I mean, it says like Luigi or whatever, or Mario. I
Right.
don't. But it's just like,
Do they call
oh,
Luigi in the movie?
I can't remember if it's Luigi. Isn't it Luigi Mario?
That's like I don't know if that's canon, but that's like what people typically say.
All right. So they do that. He opened Demolition Man, which had some cool
Nice.
cards actually. There is a 3D renditioning of a Camaro from the movie, from the future, like a future
Right.
Camaro. And I was
No,
like,
it was not a future Camaro, right?
I don't want to well, I already said it on air, and if you watch it, you'll hear. I was
Okay.
like, I need that, Jeff. And it'd be like, Dre, why would you want a future 3D rendition of a Camaro for yourself? And I'm like, yeah, why would I? So yeah, you get that as a present from somebody someday.
Nice.
That's why. He opened up the Phantom with Billy Zane,
Okay.
and then he opened up some Simpsons cards that were like cell cards. They were really cool.
Really?
Like he opened up these other ones, and I'm like, what? And like rightfully so, he knows. Like we weren't, and he was just like, oh, these are terrible. Like even for his like you're like Super Mario Brothers, the movie, the card is not going to be good, and it really, and even with that in mind, it underperforms, which ends up which gives it the so bad it's good quality.
Okay.
But the Simpsons ones were really cool, and
That's
Demolition
interesting.
Man was all right, and there were some good Phantom ones. I like that movie. I like the Phantom.
I don't think I ever saw that. Like, I think I've seen like parts of it, but
That's a lot of movies for you. Even bad movies. You're like, I only like bad movies. I'm like, have you seen this bad movie? I like a part of it.
yeah, that's kind of true. In this RX-7 looking car,
What's RX-7?
Mazda.
Is it? I don't know.
It is.
I'll believe you.
Rotary Experiment
I
7.
don't see why you would lie to me about that.
Hey, I'm like the shop guy. I tell the truth all the time.
You're a straight shooter.
I'm a straight shooter.
You just broke your back and you can't race no more. Oh, this is such a mean race. So mean. It's like,
My car's leveled up all the way. Let's see. What are some other fun facts about? So the physics are different when you run into the wall with the front of the car versus the back.
oh, so if you hit reverse? So what happens if you go in reverse?
Or if you're just like kind of sliding backwards.
Oh, by the way, I think you should get bonus. I think you should also give credit for cars destroyed. So I think you should tell me my
Really?
time to win the race.
Plus cars
and the number.
destroyed.
And you can
You know,
also
it's not a.
You could also do distance traveled. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, could do that. Yeah. When I was first like coming up with ideas for this game, I was running it by my friends, and one of my friends did suggest like I should add like missiles and stuff to it,
No.
and I never wanted it to be a combat game. I just wanted it to be a pure racing game. So I left that out. But the cars do explode, and when I guess you turned it into a combat game.
Well,
The
did
way
you had to have
put it.
known you had to have known about that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that might especially be true in the Godot version. Like, there are slight differences, and I left some of those things in if I thought it like gave the player a little bit of an edge, especially since it is just
It is a
kind of
hard game.
tough game.
What level are you on at this point? Yours?
Oops, almost
You got
off
to the
the road.
Yanway at least.
Got to
You
the
said-
Yanway. I'm at race 32, and I don't necessarily need to go through the whole thing. I'm just doing this so my side of the screen looks interesting.
We don't go home until you're done. Them's the rules.
Well, I'll cheat then. Here, oh, here, let me see. There's nothing in this shop I need, so let me put on some really bad tires, and I'll try to demonstrate a little bit what the physics do differently and why I did it. So here I am in a really bad handling car. You can see me sliding around. I'm gonna lose this race, except Dre, I'm not gonna lose this race, even though my car is really bad.
You're not going to throw away your shot. You're just like your country. You're not
and
young, scrappy, and hungry.
And I can take as much time as I want, and I'm not gonna lose this race.
Are you going to go backwards over the finish line?
No. It's because I'm playing the original version, which has more cheats, including the cheat that I should probably still put in, that one. So see, I paused, and then I unpaused, because that Godot I don't even put pause in that one.
Why would you put pause?
But did I unpause? Wait a minute. Why? What are all these other cars doing? Why are they just sitting there, frozen in time, and only I can drive around?
So, but there is a time. Like they could have beaten the race in front of you.
They didn't though. See, they're just stopped. They're not. They'll never move again.
Well,
But I
that's
can
a
push.
shame.
I can push them around. Actually, I can still push them. And then they could eventually. I can push them backwards too. Anyway.
Have you seen a Goofy movie?
No.
What?
So anyway, so you'll notice, like especially in the original version, like the cars are kind of bouncy off the walls, and however, when you hit with, I'm not gonna be able to do it. If you hit the corner just right with the back of the car, it will just slide along the wall. 'Cause
Nice.
I wanted you to do like be able to do cool like
Drifts.
drifting
That's
along the
awesome.
wall. Yeah, and I don't know if it's gonna work very good here. Yeah, not very well, but
Okay, now
it's there. It
here's where the
tries.
game here's where the
Maybe,
game gets
maybe
interesting,
my
my
tires aren't
friend.
too bad. Here, I can drive outside
Yeah,
the track.
the HAL and the Ultra Cheetah both. So the HAL is the best engine right now, but these both level up to the same in terms of horsepower,
Whoops.
which
Exploded.
is good. That's a good thing to know. And
Here,
that's why.
wait, no, oh no. After all
What you
this,
do?
after all this talk about how I'm not gonna lose this race, I then explode and lose the race.
Nobody
Ah,
makes you bleed your own blood but you, right?
terrible.
Mhm.
How? Oh well. Oh well, I didn't even need to win that race. All right.
I don't even care. I don't even
I
care.
don't even care. I've already beaten this game anyway. Let's
I don't
see.
believe you.
Ah, you
Well, you
see, and now the shop guide tells me, be sure to watch your damage. If your car explodes, you will get last, even if all the other cars exploded as well, unless you finish. Because you can go over the finish line while exploded, and it counts the lap.
Yeah, I hate that. It's awesome, but no.
Why do you hate that? Don't you like finishing in an epic explosion?
Ah, okay. So I accidentally, for whatever reason, it registered, changed the screen, and
Oh,
then my mouse, because I had been using it, the Bluetooth shut off. So I
oh,
came back and lost. I had an easy win. If you're watching mine, I had this, and you'll
oh
notice me.
yeah,
You're like,
that sucks.
why? You're like, the other car's like, I too know how to press the start button. I'm like, no, it's landed in the game form. It's like in that movie, you're Simon Pegg or something in the movie about Spielberg well, not by Spielberg, but Spielberg does it. Machine Game
What movie?
thing with Iron Giant. Ready Player One.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Me neither. You know a messed up thing about me, man? I listen to a lot of podcasts and like even like YouTube clips on things, and I listen
Mhm.
to them fast. So I'll be like, I have no interest in seeing this, but then I will know enough about it because I've spent enough time doing that.
I'm gonna
Yep.
see. Wait, do I
I
do have a
also
better engine?
discovered today I can apparently listen to books on that I've heard before. So
Hmm.
I would argue that is a key distinction. Is it can't be a brand new book, but a book I've heard before I can listen to on 3.5x speed and
Wow,
maintain it in my brain,
that's
which
pretty
is
fast.
the reason I did that is actually for the podcast and searching for Bobby Fish. I wanted to listen to the book too to like know some of the differences. I probably go a little too much in depth because I cram the entire book in my brain like Johnny Mnemonic. So it's an interesting idea. Um, but yeah, I kind of was like running out of time, and the constraints of how much time I had to actually finish the book were based on how fast I played it. I was like, let's see if I can do this. And that's a lot like actually that's a lot like Radical Racers because you'll know like a fun thing to do, as you've already said, is you get to this point in the game and you'll notice that I'm actually like handling pretty well.
Hmm.
Go back if you are doing the game like this, always go back to the first race at some point with like the earliest car you had and just look. And it is wild how you like did not even notice. And like I said, that was like the trick. It was almost like you started the game on half speed, upped it by like 10% every win, and then so by the time you're at race 60 or whatever, you're going like 8 or 9x, which is wild. Okay, just got to win fast flashlight, and then I can upgrade my car body, and then I'll have the best car in the game. Then I'll just have to make sure I can afford engine and
I'm interested to see what you say is the best car in the game.
it's isn't it the Riv XT or whatever, the one I'm driving?
The Rivet?
Or not this. It's the lowest weighted one that I'm. Oh, you have no signal by the way right now.
I have no signal.
You do now. You
Oh,
didn't.
yeah, that's when I closed the game, so it changed resolution. So that's Elgato doing the thing. Because I was going to look for something else that might be interesting to look at.
Mhm.
We've
So
got
I
some more
drew.
early concept art here.
So how did that come about? You said you were getting into Photoshop.
Right.
You did some of that. Isn't it
Yeah,
the Riv GT?
the Rive GT. Yeah, that is. I agree. That's
That's
my favorite.
that.
That's my favorite car in the game.
Well, that's so low. I mean, to be mean, the way this game works is right. You want to be able to maximize your like, especially with how I play it. The
Hmm.
the two ways to play if you are not able to, because like at this point, let's see how much money do I don't have enough to upgrade anything. Um, oh, the way I play it, if you're better, you just win the race, right? If you're just like a better car, you handle better than them anyway. So if you ever notice on turbo that you're like faster than them, you can just be like, I'm just going to take the curves better than them and win the race.
Hmm.
If you're close to them in skill, or even a distant, like that's what makes it wild, is that what you can do in this game is if you are way worse in skill, if you can find a way to slingshot yourself early enough in the game in front of a car and just make it drag on the wall, you basically keep that velocity and that's really hard to do though, because of course they turn. So
Right.
you have to be able to turn before they turn such that your car stays in front of them. And that's really like I'm not that's why I've said I would love to see like good speedrunners do it, because I would love to see someone literally just like in the body, like whatever the body for the first one is called, like the little stripy one, like the yellow perp, like the Lakers car, basically. I would
The
love
car.
to the car you start with.
Yeah, that's the 200KX, which you'll notice is the same company that makes the 200RX you get later in the game.
Makes sense. So yeah,
Um,
it's like I would love to see someone like beat the game in the 200KX somehow.
that would
And I don't know if that's
that would
I don't
be
actually even know if that's physically possible, because but I'm betting that there is some lower bound of I only need an engine in a car this, like I only need a car that's this class, and I only need to be
Mhm.
going this fast here, and then if I have the dexterity to just literally hang on in front of a car and use the corner that we've mentioned as a trick to slingshot around corners,
Yeah,
then I think you could beat the game just that way.
maybe that would be an interesting thing to try. Like, I know that would take a lot of skill because even like when playtesting the Godot version and when it was the physics were even a little bit more difficult, like getting through the game, even like buying the stuff you have available at the time can be really hard. Like, so if you're in an even slower car, that'd be really difficult. You'll notice that it shows wrong way all the time, even when you're going the right way. On the left, I've got a picture kind of showing why that's happening. Like, if you pretend this tile says up, then if you're not going
Oh,
up,
I
if you're
love
going a
the
little bit down and coming into it.
I love the faux wrong way. It is funny.
Yeah, and I left that in because it's just not Radical Racers without it flashing wrong way all the time.
Oh, man, really hope I don't have COVID. I'll let you know.
Yeah,
Good news
please.
working remote and being at home is you don't interact with people, so that's fun.
Yeah. Here's a graphic I made of all the cars that made it into the game. Let's see if I can make that big enough for people to see. I thought this was kind of neat. You have the
In the Goofy movie, there is a song called On the Road Again. And
oops.
on that song, it is an amazing movie, first off. Goofy movie is ages
You know, I,
incredibly
I've
well.
I've heard it's good.
It's amazing. It's an amazing movie. Okay.
Just
So
scrolling through all the cars because I think it's cool.
in Goofy movie, there's a scene where they're on the road and he's like he wants to take a cab and he says to Beverly Hills 90210. My suggestion is they should remake the movie, everything the same, except when he says Beverly Hills 90210, a car with like a fake Goofy that looks like Weezer says Beverly Hills, that's where I want to be.
Nice.
And that's it. It's the only change.
That's a
Rest
good
of the movie
change.
exactly. They call it Goofy Movie Extreme version. And that's
Extreme
it.
version.
It just got. Have you seen? I don't know why it became a joke, but we used to say Beverly Hills to each other all the time.
That started. I do remember doing that, and like we just like say it over whatever chat program we were using at the time, and
And then I
I,
started traveling for work, and I'd go to Los Angeles, and I'd end up in Beverly Hills. And now our new geeky thing is we talk about old fashions, and so whenever
yeah,
I get comped drinks, or Karen goes out and I'm like, order an old fashioned. I'll send a picture to Len, and we argue about if it counts.
living in Beverly Hills, exactly.
Yep.
So I'll give a little history of some of the Radical Racers cars, just because.
But you have no history on Beverly Hills. That just lost to the annals of time. We just do it.
That is lost. I've probably lost most. Like I don't remember drawing most of these cars, but here they are. The Dolphin. You'll notice that there's a super small car in the early races. That didn't make it into the final version. That's because I was like, oh, I should draw a smaller car, and I didn't realize just how small it was until I got into the
It's
race.
awesome to have its vector. I love that. I actually love the small car.
With the really, oh, no,
Yeah.
not the vector car. I mean, like there's an
No,
actual.
are you sure the Dolphin's not in Godot? I think it is.
The Dolphin is.
Yeah.
The smaller version is the
There's
Dolphin
a
RC.
there's a smaller Dolphin you didn't give us, you monster.
No, I think it's
Give the people
pretty
give the
pretty
people
sure
what
it's
they
in
want.
there.
Cool, then we're good. But you're just
Yeah.
saying it didn't make the C plus because you're saying the Godot version got everything, but the C plus plus version you did.
Yeah, I just looked around for all the graphics and cars ever made and put it in the Godot version. That's why like the Godot version has the tanks. The original didn't. The tanks weren't in it. Um, Neither was like that weird green car or the blue car, the hot odds, because those were stupid. But
How dare you? Like Edward
uh,
Scissorhands up in here, you're insulting your creation.
so Vera Tier 4, that was one of the original bitmap test cars. I think the Caldera was originally in bitmap test also. Vertex 2 is the first car I drew. Their Vertex was, and then made two for Radical Racers. The XRJ cars are the ones my brother drew. So the XRJ 860, and I don't have it in this one, but the 760, I think he called it. Surprised it's not in this graphic. Maybe didn't have it yet. Yeah, he drew those, and he drew the tank. Most of the rest I drew. Funny thing about the cars, so like I was talking about
So let me
how
ask you this: did your brother ever beat the game? He's pretty talented.
I don't know. I don't know if he ever did.
Hmm.
I know he used to play. He played it a lot when I was developing it. He was like one of the. He and Talus were like the two big play testers back in the day. Um,
But they never won because they don't have the source code, which we've established.
well, I don't think you need the source code to win.
No, you need to
But
win to get the source code.
hey, Talus, did you ever go all the way through this game? Like I don't know if anyone ever did. Like by the time I finally finished like the career and everything. Um, but because I know I was changing a lot at the end. Um,
Okay,
Negative.
die. There you go. Thank
Yeah,
God.
like even I have not gone through the full game as many times as Dre has.
You
Like,
can't prove that, although maybe you've got. That's going to be embarrassing if you do have stats on your site that you've kept track of, and I'm like, oh no, oh my God, I hate that. It's not really even your fault, but I hate then I don't realize. Never when you don't realize that you have an upgrade on your card that you haven't used, which can happen when you win a prize.
never made it through
Just
Omicron. Yeah, some of those races were big. And one thing I'm doing with like the new Godot version, the X.1 version that I'm working on, which can show next time, I guess, is
I'm not
I
I'm
am
not I'm gonna
putting.
count it done unless there's like some speed in like race time, cars killed, distance traveled, damage taken. Those would all be awesome stats to keep. To just like keep a composite over the game.
Yeah, I don't have that. X.1 I did add lap times, so you'll see that, but I don't keep a cumulative running total, which is a good idea. Like I'll do that.
Just
Um,
plus. C plus plus. That's how C plus plus works. You make a variable, you call it C,
uh-huh.
you set it to a value, you do C++, it goes up by 1,
Oh.
and then you put it in a thread. You put
Oh,
that
okay.
thread in a worker. You put
Yeah.
that worker in a thread. You
Oh,
put that
wow.
thread in a basket. Put that basket in a container.
Where'd this basket
You
come from? Oh.
you take that container and you use Kubernetes. I've never actually used this. I just use like the out of the box, like Heroku upgrade, but I could. So yeah, you put that in a Kubernetes thing. You put that Kubernetes thing in another thing. You put that in another thing, and that's how you deploy games.
Well, while he's figuring out how many layers deep this is,
7,
this is
like the dip.
so the original um so this is like the version you're playing is Godot, right? So it's like a modern game engine. It uses WebGL, OpenGL, like all this stuff. And so like the cars rotate. That's an easy thing to do, right? You just rotate the image. And I used Direct Draw, which didn't have any built-in rotation.
That is wild. And so that explains you have. I'm sorry to steal your thunder because I asked about some of the files I looked at. You have these like crazy. They almost look like bitmaps, but they're not because they have XY coordinates of a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, so that's something different entirely. But
Oh wow, really?
yeah. So what I'm showing here is like this is um like one of the cars, right? So like I would draw this, or first I would draw a smaller version, like half this resolution, because I'm not a very good artist, and it's easier to get like the proportions right and everything. And then I
Says
would
no one who's ever seen your boat.
make it twice as big, and then I'd draw over it, and that's how I'd get this quote unquote high resolution version. And then with this in Photoshop, I would do the actual rotations. And so the Radical Racers graphics look like this. This is like the sprite sheet where there are 36 different rotations
And you can find stuff
of the
like
car.
that for oh my god. You can I lost a thing that I had easily won and I don't know why I didn't just turn off.
In this, here's the RC one, the really little one. But this took a lot of time because I'd rotate and then you'd get like blurriness and just like imperfections because it's still pretty low resolution, right? So then I'd rotate, and then on every rotation I'd go through and re-outline the car and fix all the details by hand.
I like how I gave like a really snarky, like inefficient for the sake of inefficiency. And this isn't that like you were saying that about Castlevania, Castlevania 3, like you couldn't do rotation on the Nintendo.
Hmm.
So like you can watch graphics that do rotation and you realize it's like different images that are doing things. Mega Man, the trickiness they did is you could not draw animated things bigger than a certain way. So the trick was you could have moving screens, right? Like, because there are levels that go on rails. You put a level on the rails that has a giant background that then just has parts animated on it. And then, yeah, if you ever press start on any of those levels, you notice that everything but like the mouth and hand or whatever attacks you disappears. It's like, as
Right.
funny as it is for me to be like, you do this, you do this, you do this, inefficient, like what you're doing, like you have these giant old bitmaps that you have to like manual, like when you press left it updates the bitmap and the location of the car because you can't just rotate like you can in a lot of graphics programs. Like even when I that's interesting on C++ because I remember when I started coding in high school for like Java,
Hmm.
you could do like rotation stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was 2001, right? So like DirectX, or like Direct 3D and OpenGL, these things existed at the time. That's just not what I was using because I was starting out very simple, right? Because like Half-Life and Deus Ex, like those were games that existed when I made this. So it's not like I was programming this back in like 1985 or something, even though it looks like that.
But to that
Um,
point, go look at like Half-Life menus and stuff, and you'll be like, oh, those are dated. So it's like, yeah, even if you were doing like state of the art.
no, it's
Whereas
true. Yeah.
this feels like a perfect Nintendo game, and like it's about as it's like got the same hard stuff, same fun stuff. This would be a game I could buy and not like the easy metric to give. And like we kind of started doing this with Nintendo as we were going through it, like all the Mega Mans and stuff is like, would you buy this game and like it? And like you have a form of Stockholm because we'll play like a bad game like Mega Man 3 or Castlevania.
Hmm.
It'd be like, after being forced to play this for a couple hours to try and beat it, I liked it. And I'm like, after playing this for a bunch to try and learn how to beat it, I absolutely hate this.
Yeah.
But my brain is broken.
That.
Yep. I
But
wonder if the ghost car is also like too much animation because you could have a memory leak, like something that just slows down how much rendering time. I don't know if like you have any of that, but it doesn't seem like it'd be true.
I'd be
Like old
surprised if
Nintendo.
I was hitting any limitations in in that version.
I won something.
Old working art for the shop. You can see that it actually has a tiled floor.
Oh, nice! I
Nobody
got a
knows that because I covered it with a desk or
Huh,
counter.
that actually looks really nice. That's very Pixar. You like you painted the underside of the drawer.
I was playing around with what it would look like if I could do more than 90-degree turns. Because at first I didn't think just a bunch of 90-degree turns was going to be very fun or work. So I was looking at like what the tile set might need to look like, or what I could do if I had a more
It has never
complicated
occurred to
set.
me that's it. And something that probably lands with me is for my son. I've learned how to draw very simple mazes on graph paper.
Hmm.
And I basically just do that, where like you just carve out a straight line.
Yeah, but I can show
Me the world.
even
Show
better.
me.
I can show you brand new worlds.
So what are you going to do for VX? Like, what are the major updates? So you got the clock, but I mean, you actually do have a lap timer, which is cool.
Yeah, so it's got a bunch of stuff. You'll just have to tune in and see. But I one of the things is I do use the higher resolution cars that I was just showing before downscaling because there's no reason not to. So the cars are the high resolution versions of the original graphics, and it's now instead of this is running at 1024 by 768, the new one runs at a high def 1366 by 768.
Nice.
Zoomed out a little bit so you can see a little more. Just kind of in some other kind of like random things that I wanted to do back in the first game, like the clock, as well as just kind of other things that I thought would
The
be
the
easy
the,
to
the
throw in.
clock. The clock.
The clock, that was something I wanted. That was on my list of things I wanted to add. I never did. Here's
Oh,
uh Twitch.
that's actually doesn't look half bad. The graphics on that.
Thanks. That was some of my playing around with Photoshop graphics, like drawing stuff and then adding a bunch of effects to it. This is the track editor and why there are so many tracks because since it is just 90 degrees, it is pretty easy to make really huge tracks.
And then that was a trick you did earlier. Is like
Oh, whoops! I'm actually not gonna be able to finish this.
you did a track. You did like the first 6 or 7, right? Are all on the same screen, and you just start the cars on different starting spots.
Right, which
So
is something.
what's the logic you do for determining what a lap is? Is it just crossing the finish line?
Yeah.
Like, do you just place the cars somewhere and basically say every time they cross the finish line, it increments a thing, and if they get to 3, then whatever place they're in. How do you know
Then it does detect. It is keeping track of which cars passed because the way the original game keeps track of who's in what place is really strange.
Oh, I want to hear
Um,
this stuff.
so the way the way it actually works is it is keeping track of like how many tiles you've passed, and so that's kind of like the first thing, and then also like how far along you are on each tile, and then and I didn't look too closely exactly how it works in the original because it was so ridiculous. I didn't even try to copy it, but it when you pass another car, those two cars basically like shake hands and say, "Hey, what place are you? Well, I'm second place. What place are you? Well, I'm third place. All right, let's swap." And then they swap places, and then they kind of go on. And that happens every time a car
So
passes
how are you
another car.
keeping track of location of exploded cars?
What do you mean?
Like, if that car
Like
explodes in
what
some,
place they're in?
do you just
The
like decrement the overall counter of total cars or something?
in the original, I don't know what I do. in the Godot version, yeah, they just like get thrown to the back. But in the original, because of that weird like swapping mechanism, like sometimes you can like be in first place, but it'll say you're in second. But the way it
I've
like
seen the
keeps,
alternative actually. I've seen it where I'm in. It looks like I'm in first. Or yeah, you're right. Like exactly that.
yeah, but it does like the finish line keeps track of which cars have passed it so many times, and so even so, then when you do finish the race, you'll get the correct placement.
Huh. Yeah, sorry, and I'm on
But
the last 3 levels of the game. Playing drunk apparently, so that's good.
so what you do, like, so one of the issues with the original track editor that I have here is you can't finish the track because I can't draw through the track, and only the numpad will let me place specific tiles, which my laptop does not have. But let me see if I can plug in my keyboard real quick without ruining everything. Because then I can finish. Alright, here we go. Whoops. Numlock has to be turned on. That is interesting. I didn't know that home was going to make me fly over there. Now I can finish this. Alright, cool. Now I can plug my keyboard back into my PC. I'm plugging the keyboard. Crash the game.
What you do?
No, Windows wants to restart. There's no way. Oh my gosh. It wanted to. Oh well.
Gotta update Windows, man. Remember those
I
days?
guess. Yeah. Anyway, instead. Whoops, not car. That's not gonna find it. Tracked. Instead, I will edit an existing track like
It seems like you
Omicron.
do. Not to sound mean, it seems like you do that a few times. Where tracks seem very similar to existing races, and you do flashlight again. You do the.
Yeah, flashlight shows up twice. Um, I don't know if any other tracks show up twice. That might be the only one. But once you have a track like actually built, then you do this trace, which is where you say where you want the starting line to be, and
Huh.
then you like say I want the starting line here, you hit space, and then you say what direction the track goes. You just hit a direction and it traces around the track, and that's how it determines what
That's
direction
pretty.
to set
That's pretty cool.
to each
That's pretty
tile.
cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie. It's clever.
It was pretty fun. The original track editor is, I wonder if I still have that sitting around. Is this just a terminal
God, I'm so close. I could just get
program?
second, but I want to get first, man.
Let's see here. Where is tracked? I know I have it somewhere. It's probably in the data tracks. There it is. Yeah, check it out. It's a little hard to see probably, but old school track editor, October 24th, 2001.
2000. Okay.
Yeah.
That was my freshman year of college. And you were doing this crap as a freshman. And it took. I love our education system. There's no reason I should have graduated the same time as you. But anyway,
All right, in this works like exactly the same way. So like follow, then you build the track and it's using these little console graphics. And then I turn that off and I go back to edit mode. Oh, hey, I can actually use the regular numbers, not just the numpad on this one. Let's see, and then I
update.
can do how do this version. All right, trace. Okay, does now I can set the. All right, it traced it, I guess. Tracked. Okay.
Tracing the call, man.
Built. Okay. All right. And now if I exit, I should have a new. All right. Here's my cool new track.
I have
It's called
Fleetwood
Twitch,
Mac stuck in my head.
which now.
Back on the track.
Sorry, this is probably super boring as I'm just kind of.
Well, the good news is I'm racing, and I'm like,
That
yeah,
is good news. I'm gonna edit.
not doing great though. It's a
There we
shame.
go. Here's the track I just made in the terminal in the console. Now it's in the graphical version. What a cool trick. I bet we all think that's really neat.
That is cool. Okay,
One
watch.
thing one thing that is really neat, which probably doesn't come across stream at all, unless I do my other cool scene. See, I set up a bunch of cool stuff. All right. See, now my screen is bigger. Um,
How dare you?
this weird red texture that I have showing out of bounds and my weird little red cursor. If the cursor is on one of these off tiles at the out of bounds, then the pixels line up so it says off, which probably can't be seen there.
All right, thank goodness. I did
But
a
that
cheat
was
there.
that was pretty neat. That was fun.
I restarted the race with 2 tanks, and all the other cars died, so I'm gonna get first as long as I don't drag on the wall for the entire thing. One good piece of news is, as you race, you do not your damage slowly comes back to you. So as long as you're not using turbo and you're not hitting the wall a bunch,
Mhm.
you will eventually restore.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they changed in X.1 is it's a little more forgiving. Like your heat dies down faster because it goes down really slow in the original.
It should
I
depend
didn't
on
I
the car.
didn't I didn't want the game to be too easy. Can't have that.
Yeah, it's the rule about old games. Agreed. No notes.
This is the original career editor, which is what I was alluding to earlier when I was saying, you
I think
think the
that
Radical
menu's
Racers
bad.
game has a bad. This is a bad interface.
It's you want to know why it's a bad interface? It's not a bad interface because it's a bad UI. It's a bad interface because it's a GUI. Supposed to just use terminal, man.
Yeah, that probably would have been better, but see all the tracks.
CSV and terminal, my man. That's how you do it.
But what gets crazy is so like you can change the money, that's easy. You can change the
I've
prizes,
never
which
done
goes
that
to
before.
another menu.
I got a 4 tanker.
Wow,
I've never seen that.
that should make it easy.
Hopefully.
4 tanks. Yeah, I don't even know why that tank, like that tank can take E, D, and X class engines. And I think I just did that because I'd forgotten that I made it weigh 100,000 pounds, which is why it's so slow. So I must have just been playing around with it. It's like, what if I give it a faster, more powerful engine and it's still insanely slow? I can add in. I don't even. Yeah, see, I need the numpad to even use this career editor. The crazy thing though is if you do this text add,
Phew, see, I need to learn
which
how to do what I just did, which is I got the
can't do.
super fast launch, which is really key because all of these cars probably drag the wall chasing me.
I'm gonna plug my keyboard back
Yeah, you are.
in. All right, so if I wanted to add another text or a text to Ada has no text. So I'm like, I want to add a text. So I hit X. You're now presented with a black screen. Like what you're seeing here is the UI for the career editor adding shop text to a race. Like it's not
That's all.
it's not Twitch, it's not a stream issue. Like this is what it looks like. And you just have to know to hit plus, which brings up this mysterious thing. But you just start typing. Oh,
I
there's the
swear to God,
backspace.
this is the Therac 25, man. You're gonna kill someone with this UI.
In the future, there will be streaming games. Then you hit D and you're like, that needs to be said for 1,000 days. And
Oh, do you see? Oh, watch this BS. So that's good. It's actually a little bit in the past. I got first, but apparently he blew up close enough to the finish line it counted. I want my money back, you liar.
oh, That's awesome. I don't think I've ever lost to an exploding car before. I kind of wonder if the original game works that way. That's a pretty tough thing to test, unless I
Isn't that why you have
set
the?
it up.
I thought that's why you had the D.
Uh, for testing your own car, I didn't care what
Oh,
the AI cars did.
couldn't you do like an E or something to make other cars explode?
Could.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I could.
So we agree. Like, I don't
Sure.
know, it'd be hard to
Yeah,
test.
we
I'm like,
agree.
what if you had a button to test it?
Yeah, but then they'd still have to be like in the right place, and like all this other. Oh man, what a. I'll just have you test it instead.
What if you put like a tank right at the finish line? Like you made a really super short race, you put the car right at the finish line, and then yeah, when you started, you could just do a little bit of velocity. That would be like slightly more than that, but then hit D. So in theory, it would cross the finish line in front of you.
Want to see another cool cheat in the original?
So you don't like my idea, or you don't want to admit it's a good idea? You're like, I don't know, it'd be pretty hard. I can't think of a way to do it. And I'm like, what about this? And you're like, that's why I gave you the source code. Oh my God.
So what
This
if
is
you're
why.
starting a race and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, I want to be that other car. So you just become that other car.
How do you do that? What button?
Only the original game has this. You
What
can't
is it
do
though?
this. You can't do this, Trey.
Well, I can't, but what's the button? Like, what do you
Just
do?
I just push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, depending on which car I want to be.
Oh, cool.
So now the car I originally was is taken over by an AI, and he's really slow.
So you
And I'm
basically
stuck.
support multi-car racing though with that.
Yeah, I wanted to. I thought it'd be cool to have multiplayer, of course, but did not even come close to implementing that.
Alright.
Then you're like, oh no, they're gonna. One thing you got to be careful though, I think, is you don't want to do that pause trick where all the other cars are paused and then become one of them. Because I think then you can't unpause the game, because I think only player one can pause and unpause.
That's a good addition.
Oh wait, no, alright, I can pause. Maybe that's not true. Alright, that car exploded, so I'm gonna go back to my car. and get
Yeah,
left
see, I
place.
just did what I needed. If you watch here, this is what I need to learn to do, is like that. That launch. Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright. Let's see here. I did put together a graphic for because you're asking about the numbers in the car file.
Yeah, that I want to see. That was cool.
Let me find that because I did print some out for that. Don't move, just show the picture.
Landon.
What?
No, 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 no.
What
No.
happened?
Don't look. Just go,
No, I'm looking now. Now all I'm doing is watching.
go program your game. You need to
Oh,
finish
hey, you're all alone
VX1.
on the track.
No, 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 no.
Oh.
And you want to know why I was bragging?
Hmm.
Guess what track that is? Oh my God.
Which one was that?
So like so here's the cool thing, and I'm happy it's my birthday. But I streamed with Jeff, which yeah, I'll put up on the YouTube at some point and I'll keep you posted. My parents called to wish me happy birthday and I talked to them for a while. I talked to my brother for a while, and of course I had birthday and then I had like normal work. So like you know me, I love to talk, but I have been talking a lot, and then like I said, I really hope it's not COVID. I'll keep you posted, but I'm probably coming down with something that you can hear in my voice. So it's just like, yeah, I'm like super tired, and my voice, I probably shredded my voice today, but I'm going to beat this stupid. No, God. Watch the game. Watch the game.
Yeah, it gets dangerous at these later races. You take a lot of damage.
Well, actually, you shouldn't if you're doing it right. What you should be doing is like what I'm doing here is like in lap 1, let them push you around. So then you just keep momentum with like the pack, and then lap 2 you can actually like let loose. And then lap 2 is where also not only do you let loose, you try and make sure you get in front of all the cars.
I was thinking this when I was watching you play on your other streams when you were playing Radical Racers, like how confusing it would be anybody just passing by on Twitch and seeing you play this game with all these like little cars and all this chaos like happening in this group.
It's awesome. It reminds me of like a carrier on Final Fantasy, or I am so tired, as you can tell. It reminds
Yeah.
me of like carriers on like StarCraft and stuff. I don't know. It just, I mean, of course, it's very Mega Man 3-ish or whatever. We've kind of said the Stockholm syndrome, but it's a lot of fun. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. It's a fun game, and it's like there is strategy
Nice.
involved. You could probably, and like, what's also impressive to your point is it's not that unbalanced, and we have seen that is like the history. Anybody that does retro games, which is a staple of 2TV gaming, is they run out of time to design a good game, or
Mm-hmm.
they design a decent game thinking a feature is going to be there, and then the feature is pulled, right? Like they think, oh, okay. Like I can imagine I don't know how tightly coupled they were. Let's say Super Metroid. I can imagine designing a level assuming the whip didn't suck, and that's a much different level, right? Like if you know the rip.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, you're in a good position now.
so check it out. Check it out. I'm going to show something important in a sec that you
Oh,
support.
I do know what track this is.
Okay. You should have said AI programmers.
Nice.
The AI.
Very nice. Well done.
Yep. So I, of course, had beaten this on the stream. I do not know. So thanks, Austin, Cliff, and Ryan at the end. This makes me feel terrible. The first time I beat it was very similar. I'd been playing it for so long, like, and I had to leave, and I came back, and same thing. Like the first time through, I talked a ton, and I get back the second time, and I'm just like, I'm not talking. I don't care. But yeah, the key here, right? I'm on the last Rach Orchard, and I have no left money, which is the key. That means I've
Yep,
gotten
all
first
the
in every.
money. Yeah,
I have
gone
won
back.
60. I have won 60 races. I have 61 wins, and I mean that's the other. Like without adding anything new for speed testing, the races plus wins plus losses plus money, that
Mm-hmm.
would be fascinating. Additionally, like cars and so whatever, it's like yeah, how to do this with like the lowest number of upgrades or the cheapest amount. Like there's stuff here, and there's a lot of trickery that people better than me, because like we're talking about a trick that I'm not using even though I know it's there. So that would be really fascinating to see someone that like is actually good, because we've seen like the people that speedrun Mega Man that do like the zip trick,
Mm-hmm.
they're good enough at clipping, they'd be able to clip on this game, I guarantee it.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of thing is even more viable like in the original implementation, right? Because that it does have like a lot of like weird glitches and things very similar to um, zipping. Um,
What the,
but it's
let's see, how far back is
less available.
Omicron?
So yeah, nice work. That I can pretty much guarantee you have beaten this game more than I have. Like, cause
Where's
I've
Omicron? Did you change it? Did you remove it from the game?
um possibly.
Oh,
It's a very zigzag one. Yeah, it might not be in the final version. I
and
am I
this
am
is
playing
actually
around
hard
or
because there are 4 more, right? What is this one? This one is like the same, isn't it?
which one?
The extended, it just has 4 more races at the end.
It has like 8 more races. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's the same game. It just includes the Y and Z class cars, which get pretty hard to control. So yeah, you could and then the hypercars, of course, just the Y and Z class cars. Have you tried this yet? The
I have. That's what I'm doing right now is
okay. Oh, so
you know,
yeah, that's yeah. You might as well just like
and it's in a text
add more
file I could
money.
check somewhere, but
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the best. These two are the same. Oh, right, so
Yeah,
900.
the 480 Hemi Cleveland is the best engine in the game.
Alien. Alien.
They-
Let's see. See what our weights. 1950. 1950. 1950 is going to be the best one. Yeah, these
Yeah,
are nuts.
yeah.
Like, watch the speed here.
Yeah, the spec green's
Like,
the
you're gonna.
fastest car.
Apologies, you might be getting a seizure. And like this gets to the point where you want to be like to that point, like with instincts, like I am too tired and not good, even because I haven't been trained, right? I haven't been trained up to the stage, so I'm like,
Yeah, so you just jump in.
and that's the thing is like if you start into an in progress game, like without playing some of the first games first, it's a funny situation. It would be fun to write an AI for this. Like I actually do want to write like a drifting AI some point, but probably never will. Like I have a ton of projects that are just like, yeah, it'd be fun to do. I'm not gonna. But
Yeah,
that would be
no,
cool to have. That would be cool to have like a drifting one that just like was programmed to literally get in front of the front car
mhm,
and then just like hold on and never get let go. And somehow like you could of course cheat with that. Like you could know if the car in front of you somehow you could know somehow if the car in front of you what it was about to do. So you could be like clairvoyant
right.
and then just do it perfect. And that would be interesting to see.
That would be interesting.
And oh look at that. Oh my gosh, I am on a roll tonight. I win. All right. That is awesome. I am very curious to see what you do. I'm gonna keep peppering you with suggestions for like VX1.
Sure.
I love this game. It's a fun game. I'm glad, to your point, I probably have the world record on it at the moment. I'd actually be curious to see if on the Godot engine you'd take it, because to your point, a lot of the dynamics of the Godot engine are slightly different than the dynamics of the original.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know, maybe it would have been interesting had I just been playing along with you the entire time with the original, but I felt a little bit like just
It's fun. I thought this was
relaxing,
fun.
showing some of the other stuff. Like what I have up here on my screen is these red dots. If they're coming across on stream, that's what those numbers are in the car file, and this is what the car compiler does. Is it finds the bounds of the actual sprite and creates a bounding box,
Huh.
and it rotates it because cars are all pre-rotated, so I did that with the bounding box as well. So it's yeah, it's just
Right.
all the points depending on the rotation of like where the and it's not even a box. Like the collision detection is just these 4 points, which is why you can drive through the track.
And other cars can kind of come around you depending.
And other cars can drive through you, yeah, things like that.
Which I've seen, like that's an interesting strategy early, is like you try and drive through the space between two cars before they come together, and then you let one of them push you. So I've definitely seen that. But yeah, we should find a real gamer, because we are not real gamers, to try and play this. Thank you. This was a very fun birthday treat. I'm gonna go pass out now. And by the way, the number is 300,700 $307,900 is the amount of money I made the entire thing. But as you
Hmm.
can see, I had to spend a bunch of it, so my net is 55,673. Not bad.
Not bad
20.
at all. I do like that you put together this spreadsheet because like I never knew. I never had a clue how much money you make in the game. Like I never did. I never added it up myself.
Yeah, it would be
So
really,
that's
it's really hard to do in code. To just list over a list of numbers and add it.
yeah, who could
It's one of the
possibly?
hardest things to do.
I
Like you
mean,
have
it
to put in
requires
a
all
map.
those like
You have to do a map reduce, but
all
then
those threads
your
and
mapper
baskets
function
and
needs
things
you
you
to
were
make
talking
it.
about earlier. Yeah, and
Yeah, you need
Kubernetes and
you can tell that I'm like, yeah, all right.
yeah.
Can I have 350 for the buses or tanks? Absolutely. And beat this game so that you and I can get tricked into working for land and going across the galaxy and getting killed by an alien race. Because that is the plot of this. And look forward to Nerd searching for Bobby Fischer next week. Actually, we might do Tuesday. I'll ping you next week about then what timing
Okay,
looks like, and
right
if
on.
that works for you, because I still enjoy this. Like finding something and playing is enjoyable, and I enjoy hanging out. And yeah, especially if I'm sick and can't go out, it's even better.
Yeah,
So
no,
there's that.
thanks for Thanks for doing this. Thanks for hanging out on your birthday to play some Radical
This
Racers.
is what I like. I wanted. I told my wife, I was like, I want to open packs of cards, which I did with
Mm,
a friend. I want to go. I want to get pizza, which I did, and cinnamon. They have like little cinnamon nuggets, is what they are. So not quite cinnamon sticks. They're like little cinnamon balls, essentially made out of pizza dough that come with icing at the place that we ordered pizza from. I dug that, so I got that was the dessert I wanted. And then I came and did this, so it's like that was what I wanted to do with my. I cut out of work a little early,
very
as
nice.
mentioned, just so we're clear. Cut out of work early with putting the time on the schedule for it, and then even being a freaking nerd and sneaking back in to like be like, actually, I'm going to do one more change to this thing. Not push to production though, just so we're clear. Never push to production on Friday. Never, never, never. Like you need to send an email or send a test file to someone on a Friday so that they have time before the end of their day. That is perfectly acceptable. You never push to production on a Friday. So sorry to cover myself, just be like, in case anybody's listening is worried, that doesn't happen. So that's just
Was
exactly how I
yeah.
wanted to spend my birthday, and I did. Now I'm gonna go pass out, my man.
Yeah, sounds like you deserve it. So awesome. And
Have a good. I like the bounding box on the HP. I never checked that out. I didn't realize that.
the
You didn't
bounding
normalize
box.
the HP goes outside of the bounding box that you put.
Oh, yeah, that was by design, just to show how powerful the cars were. But
I'm gonna say that that line is 50. Like seems like something you would do. Like it could go either way, so I'll give it to you. Anyway, living in Beverly Hills, old fashioned. Good
there
night.
you go.
All right,
Good night.
have a good one, man.
All right. You too. See you
Stop.
next time.
Yep. Let's see. Where do I stop things?
Right here.